Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where, as usual, we exchange headlines from our city, state, and country with your comments and ideas and suggestions on how to enjoy our time here in Puerto Vallarta, whether it's a day, a week, a month, or a lifetime. As a community of English speaking locals, it is a pleasure to get together with you. Today is Tuesday, January 31st. It's the last day. It's the brownies. What are you guys talking about? See, it's too early for brownies. Anyhow, it's the last day of the month. And tomorrow's an important day to celebrate something or someone, something important. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about some changes in digital passports and who the hell knew there was such a thing. We have information on a wine festival that is coming. And for a change, we're going to have two sorted bits of news today. But we're going to counterpoint them with, or balance them with some really good news in the COVID front. So, before we get started, as always, feel free to let us know that you are a new live viewer by adding the word new to your comment. Let us know that you have something really important to share by adding a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. Let's see what Luna put together for today. A wine festival is coming to Puerto Vallarta the next month, well, in March. So it will be next month as of tomorrow. Between March 8th and the 12th, we are talking about the Vinoma Fest, a festival of wine pairings that was just promoted by organizers at an event in Mexico City. Vinoma Fest is not a new festival. It sounds familiar to me, but clearly I have not ever attended because otherwise it would be more familiar than it is. But the festival celebrates Mexican wine, and over 200 labels from 40 vineyards throughout Mexico, along with a number of restaurants from all over the country, are expected to participate. We don't have any specific information about the festival just yet, but at least we know that it is being promoted nationwide. As soon as we have more information, we will be so very happy to share it with everyone here. But as a shameless plug and a total aside, I was welcoming some new friends from out of town yesterday at the Secret Wine Bar. And after their very successful and sold out wine and cheese pairings last week, they had a two-day event. I learned that they will have a similar two-day event in the month of February, this time on the February 13 and 14. And instead of cheese, the pairing will be wine and chocolate. So if you are interested in this, I would not wait for the Facebook event. I would just go and contact our friends from the Secret Wine Bar, Chris or Carlos or Jesse, to make sure that you are on whatever list they have or mechanism or whatever, because the space is cozy, it's small, and again, the last two events were met with much success. Candelaria Day, the celebration in which tamales are the centerpiece, is coming in 2 days, and unfortunately, it will be more expensive than last year. You may recall that if you had a slice of Three Kings bread back on January 6th and you got a plastic baby Jesus figurine in your slice, by tradition, you must pay for the tamales for your friends. This year, however, you will have to budget as much as 33% more than last year due to inflation and the increasing cost of ingredients. But oh, what a treat it is to enjoy them on this date or any other date for that matter. Um, you've mentioned in the past, where do we get them? Where do we find them? Et cetera, et cetera. I have mentioned two places on Insurgentes where I like to get the tamales from the corner vendors. This morning, I noticed that El Negrito restaurant, a new specialty Mexican restaurant near Fluvial, is also selling the tamales. The ones that they sell are covered with banana leaves, not so much with corn husks. But let me know where you're getting your tamales or if you need some help finding some good tamales for the celebration. Now, in today's pre-show announcement, I mentioned the implementation of electronic passports as forms of ID that will be acceptable at banks moving forward. And after reading a couple of news items on this matter, I was not clear on what this was all about. I have learned that this applies primarily to Mexicans that are living in the United States when they come back to Mexico and are attempting to conduct business at local banks. And of course, this is all lovely, but I had no idea that Mexico is now offering electronic passports. Did you? Clearly, I'm not traveling abroad as much as other people. And I also wonder if, do they have electronic passports in Canada or the United States? I'm totally out of touch with this business of traveling abroad. And now, some good news from Mexico City. According to Health Undersecretary Hugo Lopez-Gatell, the current COVID-19 wave, which is the sixth one apparently, is now starting to decrease. And we need an applause for that. Yes, and why are you not looking at this? Hold on just a second. Have you not been looking at my images? Something just went wrong. How bizarre. Anyhow, yes, the number of cases are starting to decrease as of 15 days ago, with all 32 states reporting less cases each day. According to Lopez Gatell, the decrease will continue during several weeks, effectively ending this cycle of epidemic transmission. But he also added that as long as there is active COVID transmission anywhere in the world, it could come back. So don't get rid of those face masks just yet. And now, once again, we don't usually do sorted news here at Coffee and Headlines, but this one is both disheartening and infuriating. In the case of the taxi driver who murdered a woman while her 7-year-old watched in Conchas Chinas a couple of days ago, it turns out that the driver was her sentimental partner, against whom she had placed an official complaint all the way back in 2021 for domestic violence at the Puerto Vallarta Center for Women's Justice. Unfortunately, this is not the first and only time that such a complaint ends up not properly attended. Witnesses are now reporting that the couple was seen at the beach earlier that day with the child in tow, and they were seen arguing. Later on, other witnesses in Conchas Chinas saw the driver run over her repeatedly, leaving the scene while the child, who was also injured in the process, was safeguarded by near residents. Yesterday morning, the aggressor was captured by elements from the state's attorney's office. And I share this not so much because I'm looking for any kind of commentary. I just think it is so challenging when we see people that suffer from domestic violence and are somehow unable to break that pattern or whatever it is. And the other one, not being a TikTok user and only an occasional TikTok video watcher, I find it difficult to grasp this one. I mean, I've seen people posting videos responding to so-called TikTok challenges, and sometimes they're funny or sometimes it's sexy stuff. entertaining stuff, But apparently, there was a TikTok challenge involving taking prescription tranquilizers, with the last person to fall asleep winning the challenge. And unfortunately, at least 15 children from an elementary school in Guanajuato suffered major intoxication by ingesting a tranquilizer known as clonazepam. And I'm talking about kids between 10 and 11 years of age. And unfortunately, this is not the only case registered in Mexico. I mean, what is going on? What? Water buffalo nipples, says snarky weather, whatever that means. 25 degrees out there, feels like 27. Humidity is high again at 69%. And our temperature uh, right now in Fahrenheit degrees is 76. And our weather forecast for today is clear through the day with a high of 27 and a low of 19. Tomorrow, Wednesday, it's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 27 and a low of 18. And Thursday, a partly cloudy day with a high of 28 and a low of 18. I don't care one way or another because for me, it's going to the movies day. I'm going to go see Babylon with some friends. I don't know if you watched the film. I understand that it was very poorly advertised or promoted, but, I still want to go see it. I'll let you know how it went without any spoilers, of course. Moving right along, yesterday or the day before, I can't remember now, we were graced with a company of someone that was saying hello from Chacala, a beautiful oceanfront destination in the northern part of Riviera Nayarit. And I mentioned that there is going to be a music and arts festival, and I bumped into the Facebook event and I wanted to share it. Indeed, the festival has not taken place. It won't happen until March 17. But I wanted to leave you with information. And in case you're wondering where Chacala is located, well, once again, it's in the northern part of Riviera Nayarit. Here's Puerto Vallarta down here, and it's all the way up here. I've been to Chacala once before, and it is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful destination. There are some small hotels there, so maybe it is a weekend getaway we can consider as English-speaking locals. Last but not least, tomorrow is February 1st, and that means it's National Ajolote Day, or Axolotl, as these wonderful, curious amphibians are called. They are endemic to Mexico, and particularly to Mexico City surroundings. They thrive or have thrived in Xochimilco, where they have evolved to stay in this childlike state. Most amphibians of this nature develop the ability to move on to land as they grow older, because usually they are growing in places where water comes and goes. But the habitat at Xochimilco is such that there is always water there. And of course, there are not a lot of predators that would go after ajolotes. And so that's where they thrive. But they're also a curious species because of their regenerative power. They can regenerate limbs and all kinds of things. So they're being thoroughly researched for this, that, and the other. But of course, they're also a species in danger of going extinct. So tomorrow, of course, this is not Mexico City, so we cannot expect a gazillion activities, cultural and otherwise, related to the axolotl. But I am going to share 3 YouTube videos featuring this curious creature from Mexico in case you want to learn more about the ajolote, whose name, of course, comes from the Nahuatl, axolotl. And what it means is sticky newscaster that gives the news every morning. No, I'm just kidding. I don't remember what it means, but they're cute and they smile, as you will see in one of the videos that I'm going to share with you in the show notes today. Speaking of show notes, let's see what you guys are up to, and we'll take it from there. Do, 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 do. Lots of good mornings as always, and we love those so much. Mihal says coffee in hand. Here, here. There's no better way. Let's see what else we have. What? Oh, Papi, stop poking me. That's me and Luna. She is, and Brian comments, always amazed at how calm Luna seems to be. You know, she can be a brat. She can be playful, but she's always by my side. I mean, whenever I am here in the house, in Casa Coffee and Headlines, if I'm sitting by the computer, she has her perch. If I am watching television, she has a perch. If I go to bed, she follows me around. If I go into the, she's always next to me, and I love it. I love it. Let's see what else we have. You know, that must have been amazing, Terry. I know that some friends of mine were able to make it at Encanto last night, and I am sure if all those special guests got a chance to do at least one song, it must have been a phenomenal performance. Let's see. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. Doo-dee-doo-doo-doo. Ooh, Pat was there as well. See, now I'm feeling envious because I was nearby. I was headed into town to meet some friends, new friends that are friends of a friend that were visiting Puerto Vallarta. One of them is here for the first time. And of course, you know me, I jump at the opportunity to see our town through the eyes of a first timer from time to time, just to, you know, charge my own batteries. And it was absolutely delightful. In fact, I was taking an Uber into town to meet up with them, and I saw Den and Kathy sauntering around Cinco de Diciembre with the wheelchair, and I was just so happy to see you guys out and about. I see some countdowns, and I love that. John says all passports in USA are electronic. They'll have a small SIM card embedded in the passport. See, I had no idea that this was such a thing, but that's interesting to know. Fascinating. Most ports of entry back into the USA use facial recognition, and CBP agents don't even ask for your passport anymore. A bit unnerving the first time, as the system is able to pull you up in less than a second. That is very freaky. That is freaky, definitely. Tamales in the air fryer have changed my life. I usually steam mine if I'm trying to reheat them. I love it. We love tamales from vendor on Calle Roma between Avenida Fluvial and Calle Rio Amarillo. Banana leaf style. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to find this particular vendor. Thank you for that tip, Rita, as I am not familiar with that one. Pirim pam pum pam boom. Let's see what else. Because Kathy is in a wheelchair, facial recognition is difficult for her. I've had to learn to move the camera on the passport machine. Ouch. Kelly is watching from La Peñita, another nice little getaway north of Puerto Vallarta. La Peñita de Jaltemba is the cutest little town. Kelly, if you are still having the wonderful Thursday market, please confirm that. And for those of you that have never been to the Thursday market at La Peñita, not only is it a great tianguis, an outdoor Mexican-style market, but the main plaza in La Peñita gets covered, or used to get covered, with artisan vendors. So there's a whole long series of blocks that cater to the traditional Mexican food and chingaderas. But at the plaza, you get all these arts and crafts vendors, and it is a beautiful gathering, or at least it used to be. I certainly hope it continues to be the case. And parim pam pum pam pum. I think yes, Kelly confirms that it's still going on Thursdays. This is wonderful. Again, if you're ever up for an adventure, and you have a vehicle, because I'm sure that getting there by public transportation from Puerto Vallarta, I'm sure it can be done, but it might be a little tricky. But if you have a vehicle, spending the day on a Thursday at La Peñita is a wonderful thing to do. And if you combine it with Rincón de Guayabitos, which is next door, what could go wrong? It's another great getaway that I highly, highly recommend to anyone out there. And this, of course, brings us to the end of today's broadcast. I thank you, as always, for being such great partners in broadcast. I was going to say partners in crime, but we haven't committed any, at least not any serious ones. I hope your day is absolutely wonderful, and I hope to see you again sometime soon, maybe even tomorrow. Luna and I, as always, appreciate your ongoing support. It is thanks to your ongoing support that we're able to see you here every day except for Sunday. So have a good one, and I'll see you again soon.